Okay, ji, Waheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji ki Fateh. Thank you for joining this session on Camp Gurmat 2022. Usually ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦਾ introduction camp ਦੇ first day ਤੇ check-in ਤੇ ਕਰੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ. But for a change, we are trying ਕਿ ਆਪਣਾ because there's so much spread out of participants. We do this online, and we'll put this recording on the website for the parents ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨਹੀਂ join ਕਰ ਪਾਏ. So here is the brief agenda or the flow we'll go in. So briefly, we'll talk about what Camp Gurmat is. So bear with us. अगर ਤੁਸੀਂ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਕੈਂਪਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ parent, you already know about that. ਤੇ ਪਰ ਕੁਝ parent ਏਦਾਂ ਦੇ ਨੇ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਲਈ camp first time ਹੈਗਾ. So this is also intended for that audience. So some of the information may sound repetitive, but this is for completion. We'll briefly talk about teachers कौन ने इस बार. Then Rajinder Paji will go over schedule and new things we're doing this time without revealing too much. We want to leave something, but a surprise on the campsite. But we'll talk journal so that you give you a glimpse ki, how the camp is really organized. Then Tej Pratap Paji will talk about the logistics, ki briefly check-in, check-out process kiya gaya. And then we'll leave the last 15 minutes for any question and answer. So agar question instant hai to zarur, raise your hand and ask. Otherwise, you can put it down for the last, or you can put in the chat, and which we can pick the question we can answer. So Camp Gurmat की चीज है. So Camp Gurmat is the camp that we started आज तो 12 साल पहला. The first year, the idea was Christmas ਦੇ ਦਿਨ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, everybody goes into this vacation mode. ਤੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਚਾਰੋਂ ਪਾਸੇ ਕ੍ਰਿਸਮਸ ਦਿਖ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ they tend to forget about ਮਾਤਾ ਗੁਜਰੀ ਸਾਹਿਬਜ਼ਾਦੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਪੂਰਾ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਵਿਛੋੜਾ. ਪਹਿਲਾ ਆਈਡੀਆ ਇਹ ਸੀਗਾ ਵੀ let's bring something alive ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ. And at that time we realized ਵੀ typically ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਵਿੰਟਰ 'ਚ ਕੈਂਪ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ. ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੈਂਪ ਸਮਰ 'ਚ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ. Winter which people stay home. So that was blessing in disguise that we were able to get a site who were willing to work with us, because it was a super off season for them, that they were willing to work around the Christmas except for the Christmas day. So we have to work either before the Christmas or after the Christmas. So that's how we started off. First theme was Sahibzade, and that's how we started off. Sahibzade, Baba Banda Singh, Bhai Mani Singh. So we went to entire 17वीं 18वीं सदी का इतिहास कवर करने की कोशिश की थी. So इस बार दा कैंप भी उसे पैटर्न ते हैगा. So there is a theme. So theme ਦੀ ਇੰਟੈਂਸ਼ਨ ਇਹ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਪੂਰਾ ਕੈਂਪ revolves around that theme. So 5 ਦਿਨ ਜਿੰਨਾ ਵੀ ਕੰਟੈਂਟ, ਕਰਿਕੂਲਮ, ਟੀਚਿੰਗ, quizzes, events, activities, workshops, ਸਾਰੀ ਕੁਝ ਉਸ ਥੀਮ ਦੇ ਆਸ-ਪਾਸ ਘੁੰਮਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ. Even the ਬੁੰਗਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਮ or the things they go after, ਉਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਉਸ ਥੀਮ ਦੇ ਆਸ-ਪਾਸ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ. So that ਕਿ ਉਹ 5 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹ ਥੀਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ completely at least ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਵਸ ਜਾਵੇ ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ they know about it. ਜਿਵੇਂ ਭਾਈ ਤਾਰੂ ਸਿੰਘ ਸੀਗੇ ਜਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਮਨੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ ਛੋਟਾ ਘੱਲੂਘਾਰਾ ਸੀਗਾ. That was on that pattern. So ਇਸ ਵਾਰ ਦਾ ਥੀਮ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਗੁਰਮਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ. And we're not going to talk about too much about the theme in this presentation, but this theme they'll relate to it a lot. How a Khalsa tradition ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਣਿਆ, how it evolved, the key parameters ਸੀਗੇ, how is it different from a democratic resolutions, right? ਇਹਦੀ evolution ਕੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ present stage ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਕਿਵੇਂ use ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, and how we can apply it. So they will learn a lot about this, and based upon the age group, ਜਿਹੜੇ teachers ਨੇ they are prepping on the curriculum ਜਿਹੜਾ ਕਿ ਉਸ level ਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਆਊਗੀ ਗੱਲ. ਠੀਕ ਹੈ. So if they are counselors or college going ਜਾਂ high schoolers ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ content level ਥੋੜਾ up ਹੋਊਗਾ, while ਜਿਹੜੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ, think of elementary school ਜਾਂ early middle, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਇਸ content ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ different ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ present ਕਰਾਂਗੇ. Now for the check-in check-out, so typically 26 ਤਰੀਕ to 31 is the camp ਦੀ dates ਨੇ, ਤੇ 26 I think ਉਹ Monday ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, so that is a check-in day. So and that's where there will be a slaughter time when you come into the camp and drop the kit. ਤੇ ਜਿਹੜਾ 31 ਤਰੀਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਜਿਹਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਲਾਸਟ ਡੇ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਕੈਂਪ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੱਚੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੀਵਾਨ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ. ਵੀ ਇਨਵਾਈਟ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਟੂ ਬੀ ਇਨ ਦੈਟ ਦੀਵਾਨ, ਐਂਡ ਉਸ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਗੱਤਕਾ ਪਰਫਾਰਮੈਂਸ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਐਂਡ then you really check them out of the camp, and that process we're going to go through. ਤੇ ਇਨ ਟਰਮਸ ਆਫ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਉੱਥੇ ਦੀ ਕਲਾਸਰੂਮ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਨ ਕਲਾਸ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, ਤਬਲਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ, there are workshop, there are Gurmat classes. These are like 45-90 minute classes. ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਇਲਾਵਾ ਆਊਟਡੋਰ ਉਹ ਗੱਤਕਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, if weather allows ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ really outdoor ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ, otherwise we go in, we have a huge ਅਸੀਂ ਲੰਗਰ ਹਾਲ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ, recreational hall ਹੈਗਾ where this activity can take place. तो ਜਿਹੜੀ ਗੱਤਕਾ ਦੀ ਕਲਾਸ ਅੰਦਰ ਵੀ ਲੱਗਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ, ਸੋ ਇਟਸ ਆਲ ਵੈਦਰ ਡਿਪੈਂਡੈਂਟ. ਤੇ ਆਊਟਡੋਰ ਐਕਟੀਵਿਟੀ ਆਲਮੋਸਟ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਕਨੂਇੰਗ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, wall climbing, zip lining, and yeah, this year there's a plan to do different type of campfires. So we have campfires, and there are group performances that ਬੱਚੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ. So we have some other structure around it. And then there are more activities. Some of them are structured, some of them are not unstructured. Kuch ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ cabins which ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, and it goes on in terms of outdoor activities. For food, it's only vegetarian food that we serve over there. It's all hot meals ਉੱਥੇ prepare ਕੀਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ. Usually meals ਅਸੀਂ campsite ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ. So they have a huge kitchen which we have no access to. So in case you're wondering ਕਿ ਲੰਗਰ ਕਿਉਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗ ਸਕਦਾ ਉੱਥੇ, so we do not have access to the kitchen. So but there are few days ਜਿੱਥੇ ਕਿ ਸੰਗਤ from different ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰੇ or individuals, they sponsor meal. They want ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਲਈ food ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵਾਂਗੇ, and we pre-plan that, and we have a scheduled day and time for that. So that's another part. So in case ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ interest ਉਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਹੋਵੇ ਕਿ they want to sponsor, so it really helps. ਬੱਚੇ like the change. So ਬਾਕੀ in terms of ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੋਰ camp ਦੇ details ਨੇ, camp ਦੇ finances ਕਿਵੇਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, what you do at the camp, pictures na speak more than the text. And ਅਗਰ ਪੁਰਾਣੀਆਂ booklets ਦੇਖਣੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ we also publish a book every year, so and that booklet also has schedule and all those details, so you can browse through that as well. ਉਹ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ website ਤੇ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈਗਾ. Then there are different types of applications ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ you can do and fill it up on the website. The primary application, most applications camper ਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, right? So camper ਦੀ definition ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, that is for somebody who is in K to 12 school system. At that time age matter ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੀ, K to 12 school system 'ਚ ਹੋਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ. So by age 6 to 17 age ਹੈ, so 6 is pretty strictly implemented. So usually kinder ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ. ਤੇ 6 ਸਾਲ ਵਾਲੇ ਬੱਚੇ like by our definition December 1st ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਬੱਚਾ 6 ਸਾਲ ਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਜਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਡਾ ਹੈਗਾ, they can join the camp. ਤੇ pretty much ਬੱਚੇ 6 ਸਾਲ ਵਾਲੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ, and they were very successful. They were over there. And then there is a new category we have created this year, which is called junior counselors. ਇਹ camper ਹੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ. So in case somebody is in 11th grade or 12th grade of high school, then they can apply as a junior counselor. ਤੇ ਉਹ ਬੱਚੇ ਵੀ ਕੈਂਪਰ ਦਾ ਫਾਰਮ ਹੀ ਭਰਨਗੇ, but they'll not be assigned into a class. They'll have very different roles. So counselor will talk about it a little later. ਤੇ ਇਹਦੇ ਇਲਾਵਾ there are senior counselors. ਇਹ ਕਾਲਜ ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ, college going or university students. So 18 to 26 is the approximate age we believe they are in. And ਇਹ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ it's more of a leadership development program for them, because we see them as future camp organizers or future camp managers, future administrators, right? So they will be our future teachers, divan organizers. There are a lot of positions ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਬੱਚੇ role play ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ, which is more of a leadership development program ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ. And ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਅਸੀਂ fees ਵੀ subsidize ਕਰੀਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਮਤਲਬ this fees that we showing here does not even cover the camp cost, but that is not the intent of the program. The intent of the program is ਕਿ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਾਲ ਲਾਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ. So they have a lot of jobs at the campsite. So we started off as a Seva Jatha program, or some light jobs for them. But this year they will be like forefronting or doing full lead from front kind of job. And then volunteers. Now volunteer ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, that's a bigger class. So anybody who is not a camper, who is not a counselor, is a volunteer. So volunteer, they, it's a broad scope. So there are all kind of volunteers ਉੱਥੇ. There are cabin volunteers, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ cabins ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ. So they live with them in that room. So there are 2 cabin volunteers in each bunga, each cabin. They, so one role is cabin volunteers. Now choose hundene. Baki there's a nursing staff, or if you're a physician, then there is a physician on site. So una the living arrangement vakri hai. They're not in the cabin, but their volunteer responsibility includes take care of kids in case of medical situation. They, there are a lot of operational volunteers, security staff who is going around checking, and then making sure we have transportation. They, any kind of जो भी कैंप ਦੀ operationalization ਲਈ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, water ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉੱਥੇ, ਲੰਗਰ ਦਾ ਦੇਗ ਦਾ ਸਮਾਨ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ. So they, we do that run around. So ਇਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ different volunteer positions ਨੇ, but you'll be surprised, even though we call them volunteers, but there is a fees. So ਜਿਹੜੀ contribution ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, this is basically to make sure that we are net neutral. कि जितना camp ਦਾ expense हो ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ, we just pay by ourselves. So we are not asking for donations. But even then, if you look at our finances, we are pretty much $4,000 to $5,000 short every session. But some of our group covers that. So we all contribute in a way, in a mode of donation mode. Rajinder Paji, you want to start from here, or? Rajinder Singh?
I think Paji unmute labde ne.
Okay.
Hanji bhai. Can you hear me now?
Haji Paji, theme Shabad and teacher.
Hanji, Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. I'll just pick up from where Mandeep Paji left. The volunteers fees, right? ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਵਾਲ ਪੁੱਛੇ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ why ਇੱਕ ਤੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ 5 ਦਿਨ ਆਪਣੀ ਛੁੱਟੀ ਲੈਣੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, then on top of that there is a fees element to that. We do want to tell everyone that, including us, we consider ourselves as a volunteers, and some of us have been working on this for months, some for a few weeks, and spending the time. And we also felt that if we set an example, rest can probably also see that if the time is spent, we understand. But this is also for our kids. So is karke anyone who is working, we consider them as a volunteer, including us. We consider ourselves as a volunteer, and hence there is a fees. And the whole concept was started that we shouldn't be depending on a one-time or a lump sum donation. The more you depend on those kind of a donation, the more your independence character get away. And folks, whoever is donating, will probably set some agenda. And we wanted to make sure that whoever is attending this camp, it should be self-funded, self-sustained. As Mandeep Paji said, Pacha has been taking care of us. There's a slight here and there minimal expenses that we couldn't meet through the fees. Some of us and a lot of other people unknowing Gupdan and then we kind of managed that. With that, this year the theme is Gurmata. How do we do Gurmata? Before the Panth Khalsa or collective gathering start hui, sab to pehla Gurmata hunda siga. And anytime we pick up a theme, we usually dwell on it. We theme shabad keda hove jehda tokda hove, assi we can never do the justice ki exactly udan da hi hove. But we felt this year ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸੁਣਿਆ ਹੋ, ਇਕੱਤਰ ਮਿਲੋ ਮੇਰੇ ਭਾਈ, ਦੁਬਿਧਾ ਦੂਰ ਕਰੋ ਲਿਵਲਾਏ. Now the message is way deeper, and that is not the intent of this today's session. But we feel ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਕੈਂਪ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਵੇ, there was a camp, I think it was 2017 or 2018, there was a Dagmag Chad Raymond Bora, and it was probably, the theme was ਭਾਈ ਤਾਰੂ ਸਿੰਘ ਵੀ ਜਿੰਨੀਆਂ ਮਰਜ਼ੀਆਂ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਆ ਜਾਣ ਪਰ ਫਿਰ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਈਮਾਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਣਾ, ਆਪਣਾ ਦੀਨ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ. And in the same way, Gurmata, a collective wisdom, a collective thought process in the light of Guru, in the light of Gurbani, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ resolve ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ. And we'll relate that into a very smaller chunks on every day. Basically, camp 4 ਦਿਨ ਦਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ. The very first day is actually a check-in day. That is ice-breaking day. ਦੀਵਾਨ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ. First going over the rules, and then ਅਸੀਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ parents ਚਲੇ ਜਾਣ. And then we start with the divan. But the actual day of the camp is actually 4 days. The last day is actually performance day. So ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜੇ 4 days ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ classes ਜਾਂ workshop attend ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜੋ workshop ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, which we will do, and I'll cover that in a schedule. During that time frame, this theme Shabad that you're saying will be sung in the morning divan and also in the evening divan, and also during the campfire that ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਰਾਉਣੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ. ਸਾਡੀ ਇੰਟੈਂਟ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਬਾਈ ਦਾ ਟਾਈਮ ਵੀ ਐਂਡ ਦ ਕੈਂਪ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ if not more ਸ਼ਬਦ, at least this theme ਸ਼ਬਦ should be ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਸਨਾ ਤੇ ਹੋਵੇ. And we had a huge success toward I think 2017 or 18 ਜਦੋਂ Dagmag was very hit, and even a lot of people you might be seeing whenever you join the local Keertan samagams, people have this shabad, and mostly it was because of the camp. And we intend ki jehda shabad hai theme shabad ho ekatter milo mere bhai dubda dur karo leblaye, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਯਾਦ ਰਹੇਗਾ. And so that's the intent. Theme Shabad is always connected with the Gurmata. We repeat over and over during the camp. Our intent is by the time you finish the camp, you learn about this theme Shabad and also probably keep it with you and go from there. Next slide, please. ਭਾਈ ਮਨਮੋਹਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਟੀਚਰ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ. ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮਨਦੀਪ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਸੀ 2011 ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਕੈਂਪ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ, and then there was a bit of a gap, and then we started again in 2014, and since that time frame ਭਾਈ ਮਨਮੋਹਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੋ is a very famous ਕੀਰਤਨੀਆ and ਅਖੰਡ ਕੀਰਤਨੀ ਜਥਾ, and beyond ਅਖੰਡ ਕੀਰਤਨੀ also ਇਹ ਬੇ ਏਰੀਆ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਫੀ ਫੇਮਸ ਹੈ. Before he came to US, he was actually used to work for All India Radio. ਇੰਨੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਆਵਾਜ਼ ਸੀਗੀ, ਐਂਡ ਬੜੇ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੀ ਬੁੱਕਸ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਨੇ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਿਲੇ ਹੋਣੇ ਆ. That's by Manmohan Singh, and with him there are a couple of other assistants as well, which is where some of the volunteers or some of the junior counselors or some of the actual counselor will be helping. ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ ਭਾਈ ਮਨਮੋਹਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਨਗੇ. And then ਦੂਸਰੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ Mickey Paji. His actual name is Sukhwinder, but he usually go by Mickey. A Harlev Paji, the chote ਭਰਾ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, and knows tabla very well, whether it's a normal tabla or with a classical way. He's well versed with that. ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਜੋ ਪੰਡਿਤ ਚੌਧਰੀ ਤੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ learn ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ. He has been with us for a couple of years. Outside the camp, he also comes here periodically and teach kids the string instruments again. ਉਹਦੇ ਤੇ teach ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ. And then Satpreet Kaur, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਤਕਰੀਬਨ 2-3 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ. When I say 2-3 ਸਾਲ, it's not from 2022 or 2021 or 20 or 2019, because you all know due to COVID, we couldn't arrange. When I say 2-3 ਸਾਲ, it's from 2019, 2018, 2017, those years. Satpreet Kaur, ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ ਇੱਥੇ ਗੁਰਮਤ ਤੇ ਹਿਸਟਰੀ ਪੜਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, and she has been with us for 2-3 years. Jasveer Kaur Panji, she's from Chicago. I think now she'll be moving to Texas, Houston. ਇਹ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ right from the day one, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਮਨਮੋਹਨ ਸਿੰਘ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ 2011 ਤੋਂ, she is a pharmacist, very well learned. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ she has been through not our camp, throughout the nation. She has attended number of camps. So if you are missing her, definitely she'll be here. ਹਰਲਿਪ ਕੌਰ ਭੈਣ ਜੀ ਸੈਨ ਐਂਟੋਨੀਓ, ਆਲਮੋਸਟ ਲਾਈਕ 5-6 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਨੇ, ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪੜਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਐਵਰੀ ਈਅਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਉਹ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਪੁੱਛਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ the same teacher coming? So yes, Harlip Kaur is coming again. She'll be with us during the camp. Kuldeep Singh is a very good speaker, and he has worked in a lot of other Sikh forums like Sikh American Committee of GA. इन्होंने इथे नहीं पाया, but he was very involved with the United Sikhs as well. He's a very known face throughout the nation. Publicly speak करते हुए देखा होना। ये साढ़े कोल 2 बार आए ने, and very avid reader of the history. खास करके Gurmata topic. I know there was a topic Guru Nanak Sahib last time, I think, and along with the actual theme, he went into how we all should be having this negotiation techniques, and Sikhs should be learning about that. So this is his topic, and since we thought it'll be way better for him to invite, so he'll be coming, Kuldeep Singh. And then the last one is Jathedar Didar Singh. We have been alternating with the 2 folks. One is Jathedar Didar Singh, and another one is Bhai Deep Singh, who is actually teaching Gatka to kids in the Richardson Gurdwara Sahib. When it comes to the energy, you will find a very few Gatka teacher who performs with so much of energy and then teach the kids. He doesn't talk in English, but such is the power of his teaching skill. The very first thing he will say कि मैं अंग्रेजी बोलनी नहीं ते तुसी पंजाबी बोलनी नहीं, and with that ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਇੰਨਾ ਸਕਸੈਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਦੇਖਿਆ ਜਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਪੜਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ। and the pin drop silence in the other classes, we have to intervene sometime, pin drop silence ਲਿਆਉਣ ਲਈ, but ਜਦੋਂ ਇਹ ਪੜਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹ 90 ਮਿੰਟ, in fact right from 9 AM ਕਲਾਸਾਂ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਤੱਕ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਤੇ ਜੇ ਕੰਸੈਂਟਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਸਭ ਤੋਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕੰਸੈਂਟਰੇਸ਼ਨ, and that is the Gatka. And Bhai Didar Singh ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ 2-3 ਵਾਰ ਆਏ ਨੇ, in the very first camp he came, and then we called Bhai Deep Singh. So we keep on alternating. Bhai Deep Singh ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗਾ ਪੜਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ, but when you see him performing along with his ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਗਿਰਦ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, you will find very interesting. And ਜਦੋਂ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ feedback ਲੈਣੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, there's always 2 classes that comes to the top. The first one is Gatka, always. So we wanted to make sure that we have best of the best. And then the second class is Keertan. ਬਾਕੀ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਲਾਸਾਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਕਲਾਸਰੂਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਠ ਕੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਪੜ੍ਹਦੇ ਨੇ, we all know that even though we may be teaching Sikh history or Gurmat, ਕਿਤੇ ਨਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਸੋ ਹੀ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਥੋੜਾ, but we have to keep them motivated, which is where Harlip Benji comes in. And ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਆਪਾਂ, our next topic is the schedule. Schedule more or less ज़्यादा time तो सानू मिलना नहीं आएगा, but it's the same time that we have to work with. We have felt over the years that the kids are waking up all the way at 5:30, and they are going to bed around 9:30. ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਵੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵੀ time ਸਿਰ ਸੌਂਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ, and by the time the very first day they're fully energetic, and then the energy goes down a little bit next day, and then by the time 3rd or 4th or 5th day ਬੜੀ ਬੁਰੀ ਹਾਲਤ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਵੱਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ still sustains, but ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਥੱਕ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, but even though they don't show it all the way to the final performance, ਪਰ ਘਰੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਕਾਫੀ ਸਮਾਂ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ। So this year we are trying to bring in some more fun elements as opposed to what we have been doing. खास करके ਵੱਡੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਲਈ, trying to have outdoor retreat events, which is different from the actual canoeing or archery or a zip lining. Those events will continue to have, because that's the main active ਬੱਚੇ ਕਾਫੀ like ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ. But the way we conduct the classes, it might be same for ਜਿਹੜੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ same ਹੋਵੇ, ਪਰ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਵੱਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ, we are trying to arrange them into workshop. And ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਛੋਟਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਐਗਜ਼ਾਮਪਲ ਦਵਾਂਗਾ, ਜਿਆਦਾ ਡਿਟੇਲ ਆਪਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਦਵਾਂਗੇ ਇੱਥੇ, ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਮਨਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ. For the older kids, ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ usually 4 groups ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, usually from 7 to 9, 9 to 11, 11 to 13, 13 to about 14 or 16. We'll try to merge the top 2 older groups, usually from 11 to 14 or 15, the group of about 30, 35 kids, into 4 groups. And the way we'll divide those 4 groups of joint top 2 groups, we'll have a counselor, we'll have a junior counselor, and the kids from that combined group into 4 groups. And it is like divide them into a different jathas, and using that 90 minutes class, the first 15 minutes we will explain the one Gurmata history. तो ਅਸੀਂ 4 Gurmata ਦੇ topic ਲਵਾਂਗੇ ਜੋ actual history ਚ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ, and then we'll keep them with a very open mind. Forget about what was decided back then. If you are put in the situation, how and what would you decide? And then all the 4 needs to come to a common agreement after taking decision individually. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਆਪਣਾ decision ਹੋਇਆ ਕੋਈ ਨਾ ਕੋਈ, how they reached. And then after that session, the evening session, together all the 4 needs to come to a one conclusion. And the real art is, once we decide on a specific resolution, how to stick to it. And the evening panel will probably have some of the members from the volunteers just trying to test the resolve by asking number of different questions. And our intent is that none of the jatha or none of the people should be saying that nahi mera decision te aa siga, phalana nahi manda siga. That's the art. And with that, I always use this historic example. ਜਦੋਂ Maharaja Ranjit Singh and the British Raj, they were still an entity. The British Raj was not able to capture Maharaja Ranjit Singh. Before, there was the general from the British and the foreign minister Faruquddin from Maharaja Ranjit Singh. They had actually a meeting in Shimla. And before the Maharaja Ranjit Singh could come to that meeting, usually the foreign minister go there. And he was there before the meeting, and the British general asked the foreign minister of Maharaja Ranjit Singh that I have heard your Raja is blind from one eye. ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਜਨਰਲ ਆ ਦੂਸਰਾ, ਉਹ ਇਹ ਪੁੱਛਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਿਆ ਵੀ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਰਾਜਾ ਇੱਕ ਅੱਖ ਤੋਂ ਅੰਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਕਿਹੜੀ ਅੱਖ ਤੋਂ ਅੰਨਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਉਹ? And the jawab jo foreign minister ne ditta, and that is something we are trying to instill, and also in the light of Gurmata, उन्होंने जवाब दिता कि मेरे राजे दे चेहरे ते इन्नी रोशनी है कि मैं आज तक ਉਹਦਾ ਚਿਹਰਾ नहीं देखा, मैं हमेशा ਉਹਦੇ ਪੈਰਾਂ ਵੱਲ ਦੇਖਦਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹਾਂ. That is when that British general could immediately get कि जिन्ना चिर तक इदां दे foreign minister या इदां दा राज हैगा, we can never capture them. And they did capture after Ranjit Singh was gone, after that foreign minister was gone. Coming to another example, जिस तरह Anandpur Sahib ਦੀ ਲੜਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਹੈਗੀ, the battle of Anandpur Sahib almost for 7 months, and we have learned from the history that Guru Sahib really wanted to stay there, but Sikhs ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਥਾ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਕੀਤੀ, नो, क्योंकि मुगल और राजपूत राजा सारे बेनती कर रहे हैं कि they will not pursue. All we have to do is to just get out of the fort, and then everything will be all good. And Guru Sahib did say that मेरी राय है भी ये ठीक नहीं है, but क्योंकि पंथ खालसा दा हुक्म है, इस करके मैं इथों जावांगा. And we were all proved wrong. Now, that was the first starting Gurmata. ਉਹਦੇ ਬਾਅਦ ਐਕਚੁਅਲੀ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਚਮਕੌਰ ਦੀ ਗੜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰਮਤਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਪੰਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਬਣ ਕੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੂੰ ਆਦੇਸ਼ ਦਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਓ. So that's a second example. Then it goes on and on and on. We would like to see, ਤਾਂ ਕਰਕੇ ਭਾਈ ਮਨਦੀਪ ਸਿੰਘ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਈਅਰ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਟੌਪਿਕ ਹੈ, it is so good that if we can make it relevant for the kids as per their group. So for the bigger, I just explain, and the छोटे बच्चों वास्ते भाई भैन जी हरलीप कौर कहन जी अपने ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ new ideas है ने ਉਹ ਵੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣਗੇ. At the end of the day ਸਾਡਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ resolve ਕਿਦਾਂ ਕਰਨੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, and once we make a collective decision how to stick to it. So that's the schedule part. There will be different workshop. Probably ਜੇ ਬਾਰਿਸ਼ ਨਾ ਹੋਈ ਹੋਵੇ, then definitely those groups will be having a workshop outside. And for the younger kids, we will figure out something within the admin building, very playful way, rather than just having table kursi and one person teaching. So our intent is to make those classes very innovative. Gatka the Keertan they already interested काफी बच्चे होंगे ने, but trying to make the classes as well very interesting. Campfire, so usually एक ही campfire होती है final day or a day before final day, and we are trying to have another campfire because बड़ी बच्चों की काफी demand होती है कि campfire होनी चाहिए है. And you'll be pleasantly pleased of what we have planned. I won't reveal that. Quiz performance, ਤੇ ਹੋਰ ਵੀ ਸ਼ਾਮ ਦੀ performance ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਰਹਿਣਗੀਆਂ, and we'll try to have some eminent speaker from outside as well, and possibly some skill building exercise as well. With that, can you go to the next slide?
ਤੇਜ ਪ੍ਰਤਾਪ ਭਾਈ.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਤੇਜ ਪ੍ਰਤਾਪ ਭਾਜੀ.
ਹਾਂਜੀ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. ਲੋਜਿਸਟਿਕਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪਣਾ ਫਰਸਟ ਡੇ ਜਿਵੇਂ ਭਾਈ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਚੈੱਕ ਇਨ ਤੇ ਲਾਸਟ ਡੇ ਚੈੱਕ ਆਊਟ, ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਈ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਨਫਿਊਜ਼ਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਆਣਾ, ਤੇ there will be a detailed email that will be sent as well, which will ਤੇ ਹਲੇ ਵੀ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੈਬਸਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਜਾਓ ਤੇ ਮਟੀਰੀਅਲ ਹੈਗਾ which will help you figure out ਕਿ what is our recommendations, ਬੱਚੇ ਕੀ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣ. Keeping that aside, on the first day on 26th around 1 baje de kareeb, this time we are thinking probably 12 to 2 because we are thinking something different on first day as well. We will be doing the check-in, so we would request ke sare parents apne bachchian nu between 12 and 2 uthe le aun. There will be signs as you enter the campsite. It's a pretty big campsite, but there is only one road, and there will be signs that will guide you to the rec center. Te utthe sare volunteers honge which will be doing check-in. So check-in process te which there are certain forms that waivers that campsite asks us to sign. There is ziplining happening there. So due to the legal things, there are few forms that needs to be signed by the parents to allow kids to do those kind of activities. And plus, usto baad, that's where kids will know कि ਉਹ ਕਿਹੜੇ cabin ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ schedule ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ. There are few other things we will tell them. They will get an ID card. They will have their schedule printed on the ID card. They will be divided into groups. So there is a lot of information that kids will know at the time. And at the same time, there is a lot of sometimes anxiety कि मैं ना ए बच्चे नाल ही बुंगे च रहना है, केबिन च रहना, मैं ए बच्चे नाल रहना है. So if the age difference is not too much, like it's really hard to have a 6-year-old with a 12-year-old. But generally, if things are really there and jo same cabin ch nahi allocate hoye ne, so we give that flexibility. you give in that request and that will be taken care. The last thing we want is कि बच्चा just because of same cabin च नहीं हैगा तो enjoy ना करे. So all that flexibility is there. So we basically get all that information, and that's when after we do the check-in, we assign you the which cabin you are. Then we request the parents to take their kids and go to the cabin, assigned cabin, and where you will meet the cabin volunteers as well. You can exchange numbers just in case you want to check up. We generally recommend that you leave the kids alone for the 4 or 5 days. Generally, छोटे बच्चे parents थोड़े से ਹੁੰਦੇ ने कि can we know how they're doing and all. But if there is anything, we will give you a call. We have medical personnel on site, and there is security team. There are a lot of people looking out for kids, so there is no need to worry. But that's when after you check in, you sign the waivers, and after that is when you go to the cabins and set up your kids' bed to see first come first serve basis. There are bunk beds. पिछली slide पे तुसी photo देखी होनी है. They choose their bed, they set up, and then you come back to the rec center, Langar Hall, जिथे कि we gather again, and we do like an introduction session along with the parents. We go through the rules again, very detailed rules on what is allowed, what is not allowed in the camp. For example, phones are not allowed. There you cannot roam around alone. Just do tin munde इकट्ठे होए थे, let's go on a trail. So those kind of things are not allowed, and those rules are gone through in very detailed fashion, and we want everybody to listen to that and agree to that. And the usto baad, after that introduction session is over, we request the parents, ਜਿਹੜੇ के volunteers नहीं हैगे, so to leave, and that's when the actual camp starts. We have every year. Generally, it goes the same thing. We are trying to change it this year. We have some sessions, and then we have a divan in the evening, and then we start the activities, and the normal schedule starts the next day morning, and it goes on for 4 days. So that's how we do the first day check-in. It's mostly mingling with each other, making new friends, seeing old friends, and just getting into the mood. After that, in the last day on 31st, that's our performance and final day. So in the morning, we request parents to come back around 9 and listen to the kids' performance. There is a big lineup. Mostly, this is where our counselors help a lot, and they plan that whole performance. First is the divan. Divan to baad fir Gatka performance hundi hai. And then after Gatka performance and lunch, we will have langar during that time. And then after that, we start the checkout. And we request the parents then that don't just, while the Gatka performance is going on, if there is nobody in the cabin, don't just take the things and go. Just because of security, please make sure you are signing and checking out your kid. Because you have to make sure that you collect all the things from the cabin as well as from Divan Hall. You might be bringing harmonium, you might be bringing tabla. So make sure that you check out your instrument, you take all the things from your bunga, and you say goodbye to your teachers and all. But don't forget to sign out. That way we know that the kid has gone to the right hands. So that's one of the important things on the checkout. And there will be cabin volunteers who would be having the checkout sheets, and you'll be able to sign them out. So that's all in all. First day check-in. Around after the check-in is over, introduction is over, we request parents to go and come back on the last day morning 9 a.m. I think Mandeep Bhai, that's it.
Yeah, thank you, Bhai. So I think we go to the last segment, Q&A. So if any parent has any question, so let me start from Reed Kaur's question. The question is, can volunteers sign up after the registration is closed? The Rajinder Paji answered, yes, they can. Now, but logistical ਉਹ ਦੱਸ ਦਵਾਂ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜੀ deadline ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਉਹ volunteers ਤੇ ਉਨੀ strictly impose ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ because volunteers, if you notice ਜਿਹੜੇ volunteer apply ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, there's a review process. You apply and then you go into the under review state, which basically means ਕਿ we look at ਵੀ ਜੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ cabin volunteer ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੀਬੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਿੰਘਾਂ ਦੀ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਲੋੜ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, so we kind of balance that out. But pretty much everybody is accepted who applies. But yes, the last deadline is not really strictly enforced for the volunteers. But for campers, it is.
Okay. Go ahead, Gurpal Paji, you had some question.
Please go ahead, Gurpal Bhai.
When do you want us to make the request for children to share a cabin with another child? At the time of check-in or prior?
It's recommended that you send that request now. So Tej Pratap Paji is the scheduler as well as he's the planner. So once his process kicks in, he has a bunch of spreadsheets. So if you have a request, drop an email. Drop an email to camp email address. The other option was that when you're applying, the application be pass but drop an email.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Any other question from anybody? Dipinder Pai. Please go ahead.
Vijay, just one question. I mean, just in case, agar ek din pehle check out karna hai, to is that allowed? I mean, kids, if you want to check them out on 30th instead of 31st, will that be okay or no?
Rajinder Paji.
This question has been asked from the day one, since the time we have been having this camp since 2011. Before, we were very, very strict because we wanted the kids to have the campfire because that's the most fun. But now, given the experience, given the request from a lot of parents over the years, most of the time we discourage this, Paji, but if you have a very pressing need, we'll definitely consider it.
Mm-hmm. Sure, Vijay. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
if you're planning to do that, please make sure you drop an email and get a confirmation ahead of time. So it goes into our system कि ऐसा होना है किसी बच्चे ने पहला जाना है. But एक चीज मैं राजेंद्र पाजी शायद मैं clear कर दूं, right, कि which is in and out is something which is still discouraged, which means pick a kid on day and then एक दिन बाद, 2 दिन बाद, you bring them back. That is still strongly discouraged because that kind of ruins the camp experience.
Definitely, they'll be out of context for various things, and it becomes difficult.
Yeah, please drop an email if somebody is thinking of that which karande. So we know in the planning कि ऐसा होना है.
Sure. Yeah.
Mandeep, you may want to shed some light on what they will be missing if they miss the last day, because Divan and
yes,
Gatka,
yeah,
because they're all in a group. So if the kid is already included in that group, then just shed some light on it, like what they will be missing.
Yeah, so ਜਿਹੜੀ 4 दिन ਦੀ ਜਾਂ 5 दिन ਦੀ activity ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ intertwined ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, which means they are part of multiple forums and groups, and there are events and activities and roles they were acquiring in those forums and classes and sessions. The activities toward the end of the day are built on those groups and forums. So if somebody is going to be missing on day 1, day 3 or day 4, so that activity, final day activity ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਉੱਥੇ miss ਕਰੂਗਾ that becomes it's like ਬੱਚਾ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ miss ਕਰੂਗਾ because the planning cannot assign them anything because they know ਕਿ ਇਹਨੇ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ last ਦੇ ਦੀਵਾਨ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਯਾਰ ਇਹ campfire ਤੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ, so we cannot rely on him or her. So that is the part which is maybe ਬੱਚਾ may feel कि why are they not
Okay.
Right. So that's the whole purpose.
Sure.
Yeah.
Got it.
So full camp experience, Landly, it's best to be part of the camp fully.
Yeah, no, definitely. My daughter was there anyways last year full time. SRB mostly, yes. I was just thinking about that possibility. So.
Nilapan, please go.
Thank you, Ji.
Sorry, Jinder bhai.
And I'll say that if it is you don't have to be at a certain place, I would definitely say if you can stay till the divan and enjoy that experience. But if you have to be there, then that's the pressing need.
Thank you. Neelam bhai,
Benji,
please.
yeah. Neelam Benji, you had your hand raised. ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੁਝ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ ਸਵਾਲ ਹੈ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ.
No, I'm question got answered. Thank you.
Okay.
We may also want to share some details on how we encourage participation rather than performance.
Tej Pratap bhai or Jinder bhai.
Yeah, so that's a very good point, Rudran. So one of the things we try to do is don't try to see the last day performance या दीवान च कोई हैगी है. We always need to make it really, the performance has to be great, it has to be A grade level, but we try to make sure के different level ਤੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਆके ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ stage ਤੇ present ਕਰ ਸਕਣ. There may be kids ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਦੀ, and it's always there, ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਦੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਚ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਵਾਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਥ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਇਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਜਾਂ ਤਬਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਹੱਥ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾਇਆ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਗੱਤਕੇ ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਵੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ. So it's obviously not कि जब 5 दिनों तो बाद they would be becoming anywhere near expert on any of those skill levels, but we encourage those kids to come forward and jada bhi unhone sikhya hai, there will be ਜਿਵੇਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ there will be levels of shabads. ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ always brings के ਜਿਹੜੇ starting ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਰਗਮ ਸਿੱਖ ਕੇ ਆ basic ਸ਼ਬਦ ਕਰਨ, right? So ਤਬਲੇ ਚ ਵੀ same ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਗੱਤਕੇ ਚ ਵੀ same ਹੈ. So everybody is encouraged to participate and come forward, and as a group ਜਦੋਂ ਬੱਚੇ perform ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, irrespective ਕਿ ਉਹ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਦੇਰ ਦੇ, ਕਈ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਕਾਫੀ 10 ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋਣੇ ਆ, and obviously ਜੇ ਉਹ ਅੱਗੇ ਆਉਣਗੇ ਤਾਂ it might be alone they can pull the divan forward, but our thing is ਕਿ ਸਾਰੇ ਬੱਚੇ together ਆਣ, irrespective ਤੇ ਅੱਗੇ they feel confident ਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ 5 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਚ ਕੁਝ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ, and that's when the magic happens, that irrespective, and ਜਦੋਂ group ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ, so it feels really good, and we encourage that ਕਿ not necessarily ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ ਆਉਂਦੀ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਗੱਤਕਾ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, ਤਬਲਾ ਸਿੱਖ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ, they are the ones on the front, but the ones ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਵਾਂ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਹੈ, they are eager to perform, those are the ones that get the chance to perform as well.
And thank you, Paji. I'll just have to add one more point. Guru Granth Sahib sade guru ne, but very few people have a gutsy enough and go there and take a hukunama. Structurally ਅਸੀਂ ਕਦੀ encourage ਵੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੱਥ ਧੋ ਕੇ ਚਲੋ ਹੱਥ ਧੋ ਕੇ ਲਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ, ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ, ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਨਾ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ, ਗਲਤ ਨਾ ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ. And at times it has become a little controversy as well, but we as a camp would encourage, if not here then where. So ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ confidence ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਪੜ੍ਹਨਾ ਵੀ ਚੰਗੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ, but we still encourage, this is, you're supposed to read, this is why it was meant to be. ਇੱਦਾਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਇੱਕ holy book ਰੱਖੀ ਹੈ, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿਰਫ ਮੱਥਾ ਟੇਕਣਾ ਹੈ ਮੂਰਤੀਆਂ, that is not the intent. The intent is to read. And a lot of kids were very encouraged. ਕਈਆਂ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਈ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਪਬਲਿਕਲੀ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ ਕੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ, ਸੋ ਉਹ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਆ ਕੇ. So that is the participation part which Mamla and Tej Pratap was talking about. Even if you have never done any of these activities, either hukumnama lena ya ardas karni ya tabla bhi tusi touch nahi kita hai, every kid has a different takeaway. During the 4 days we are really not focused on, not for that matter even a final day, you don't have to be very well versed with the tabla or any of the instrument that you're playing. Hence the participation. We understand that everyone is at a different level, and including adults as well. People know at a different level. Some may know more, some may know very basic, but there's a takeaway for everyone here, and hence the participation.
ਸੋ ਇੱਕ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਸੀਗਾ ਇਨਸਟਰੂਮੈਂਟ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਕਲੀਅਰ ਕਰ ਦਵਾਂ ਕਿ ਵੀ ਰੀਲੀ ਐਨਕਰੇਜ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਆਪਣਾ ਵਾਜਾ ਤੇ ਤਬਲਾ ਜੋ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਉਣ ਨਾਓ ਇਨ ਕੇਸ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਕੋ ਵਾਜਾ ਤਬਲਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਰਾਈਟ ਤੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਕਦੇ ਸਿੱਖਿਆ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਦੈਟਸ ਓਕੇ ਯੂ ਨੋ ਵੀ ਕੈਨ ਈਦਰ ਹੈਲਪ ਯੂ ਬਾਏ ਅ ਵਾਜਾ ਐਂਡ ਤਬਲਾ ਕੈਂਪ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਇੱਕ ਜਾਂ ਦੋ ਵਾਜੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਐਕਸਟਰਾ ਬਟ ਵਾਜਾ ਤਬਲਾ ਸ਼ੇਅਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਵਿਚ ਮੀਨਸ you cannot use ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਬੱਚੇ ਦਾ ਵਾਜਾ ਹੈ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਦਾ ਤਬਲਾ ਰਾਈਟ ਸੋ ਦੇ ਨੇਮ ਟੈਗਿੰਗ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਸੋ ਵੀ ਹਾਈਲੀ ਰეკਮੈਂਡ ਕਿ ਬੱਚਾ ਅਗਰ ਉੱਥੇ ਆ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਇਨਸਟਰੂਮੈਂਟ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਨਾਲ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਵੇ ਯੂ ਕੈਨ ਪਿਕ ਵਾਜਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਕਿ ਤਬਲਾ ਲੈਣਾ ਹੈ ਬਟ ਇਫ ਯੂ ਨੀਡ ਹੈਲਪ ਵੀ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵਾਜਾ ਜਾਂ ਤਬਲਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ we can help you find it's not easy but yeah we will try our best to help you ਹਾਂਜੀ ਲਾਸਟ 5 ਮਿੰਟ ਨੇ anybody has any other question
I'll make use of the 5 minutes, Mandeep. How can we, like, what is the request from us to the parents? I mean, mainly spreading the word. I mean, encouraging the, wherever the local gurdwaras they go to, how can they spread the word and encourage others now that they are coming? If anybody has testimonials or anything, please do, announce it in your local gurdwaras and help us to help you. This is the time that we are putting in, not for our own benefit, but our own generation's benefit is what I would say. A lot of people do it, no doubt, but in Texas, I think very few. One, Houston is there, which is very successful, and Dallas has started in the last few years. So I would say wherever it is, kids can encourage the kids to go, because let them be with the camp where they can get some Sikhi values rather than just staying out. Yeah. So let us know if you need any flyers or anything. We'll be more than happy to pass them on to you, so that you can spread the awareness in your local gurdwaras.
Yes. And just to build on to Vimla Bhai ji ne kiya, right? It's not easy for a parent कि अपने 6 साल 7 साल 8 साल ਦੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਬੱਚੀ ਨੂੰ 5 ਦਿਨਾਂ ਲਈ ਘਰੋਂ ਬਾਹਰ ਭੇਜ ਦੇਣਾ ਜਾਂ ਆਈ ਨੋ ਕਿ ਸਕੂਲ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ 3rd 4th ਗ੍ਰੇਡ ਤੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਬਟ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਿੱਖ ਸੰਗਤ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਵਿਦ ਸਟ੍ਰੇਂਜਰਸ ਤੇ ਇਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਯੂਨੀਕ ਐਕਸਪੀਰੀਅੰਸ ਹੈ ਇਫ ਯੂ ਲੁੱਕ ਫॉर ਅ ਲੌਂਗ ਟਰਮ ਟ੍ਰੈਜੈਕਟਰੀ ਇਹਦੀ ਤੇ ਜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ 4 ਸਾਲ 5 ਸਾਲ ਉਹ ਕੈਂਪਿੰਗ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੋਵੇ तो ਤੁਸੀਂ ਉਹਦੀ ਪਰਸਨੈਲਿਟੀ ਗਰੋਥ ਦੇਖੋ ਜੋ ਲੀਡਰਸ਼ਿਪ ਤੇ ਜੋ ਸਕਿੱਲਸ ਬੱਚਾ ਐਕਵਾਇਰ ਕਰੂਗਾ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਘਰ ਬਹਿ ਕੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਸਕਦਾ ਤੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਹੋਰ ਕੈਂਪ ਤੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰ ਪਾਊਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਿੱਖ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਐਸੋਸੀਏਟਡ ਕੈਂਪ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਬਹੁਤ ਤੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੇ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸੋ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਵਨ ਆਫ ਦਾ ਯੂਨੀਕ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀਜ਼ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਲ 'ਚ ਇੱਕੋ ਹੀ ਕੈਂਪ ਲਾ ਸਕਦੇ ਮਤਲਬ 4 ਮਹੀਨੇ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਇੱਕੋ ਕੈਂਪ ਲਾ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਸਾਡੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ 2-4 ਨਹੀਂ ਲਾ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਸੋ ਡੋਂਟ ਮਿਸ ਦਾ ਓਪਰਚੁਨਿਟੀ ਤੇ ਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਬੱਚੇ ਨੂੰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਆਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਦੇ ਮੈਨੀ ਐਪਲੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਜੋ ਇੱਦਾਂ ਆਈਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਫਲਾਣੀ ਫੈਮਿਲੀ ਜਾ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ then the other 3 families are coming and basically ਇੱਕ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਦਾ ਸੋਸ਼ਲ ਨੈਟਵਰਕ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੀ ਫਲਾਣਾ ਬੱਚਾ ਹੈਗਾ so then ਔਰ ਫਲਾਣਾ ਵੋਲੰਟੀਅਰ ਹੈਗਾ then they will take care so we all will take care of all the kids ਉਹਦੀ ਫਿਕਰ ਨਾ ਕਰਿਓ ਬਟ ਸਟਿਲ ਅਗਰ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਇਨਕਰੇਜ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਨਾਲ ਦੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੱਚੇ ਫੀਲ ਮੋਰ ਐਟ ਹੋਮ ਜਦ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੇ 1-2 ਨੋਨ ਬੱਚੇ ਜਾਂ ਫੈਮਲੀਜ਼ ਆਸ-ਪਾਸ ਦਿਸਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਸੋ ਇੱਕ ਲੌਜਿਸਟਿਕਲ ਆਈਟਮ ਮੈਂ ਕਵਰ ਕਰ ਦਵਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਆਪ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਲਰੇਡੀ ਅਪਲਾਈ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਸੋ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਮੇਕ ਸ਼ੋਰ ਕਿ ਅਗਰ ਫੀਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਦਾ ਵੈਰੀ ਫਿਊ ਦੇਰ ਆਰ ਓਨਲੀ ਅਬਾਊਟ 8 ਫੈਮਲੀਜ਼ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਫੀਸ ਨਹੀਂ ਪੇ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਫੀਸ 4th December ਤੱਕ ਪੇ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਅਦਰਵਾਈਜ਼ ਆਨਲਾਈਨ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਵਿਲ ਬੰਪ ਅਪ ਦਾ ਐਡ ਦਾ ਲੇਟ ਫੀ ਟੂ ਇਟ so let's not create that situation ਆਪ ਜੀ ਪਲੀਜ਼ ਫੀਸ ਪੇ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਕਾਉਂਸਲਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਰਿਕੁਐਸਟ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਫੀਸ ਪੇ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ ਤੇ ਓਕੇ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ ਵਿਟੀ ਬਿੰਦਰਾ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਹੈਗਾ ਜੀ ਹਾਊ ਮੈਨੀ ਕਿਡਸ ਆਰ ਐਕਸਪੈਕਟਡ ਟੂ ਅਟੈਂਡ ਦਾ ਕੈਂਪ ਵੈਸੇ ਕੈਂਪ ਦੇ ਉੱਪਰ ਵੀ ਹੈਵ ਟੱਚ ਦਾ ਨੰਬਰ ਆਫ 100 but 90+ is the typical number and we are still at least 20 away from that number, the ideal number. So we will be trying this weekend कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा बच्चे ਜਿਹੜੇ आंदे ने ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਆਣ। So given कि गुरुद्वारा साहब इस टेबल नहीं लगे ने, so we are pretty much in the online mode, जिन्हें सब कुछ कोविड तो बाद हो गया है। So okay जी, Rajinder Paji, Tej Paji, if you want to add anything before we wrap up.
Nothing from my side, right?
No, but you covered well. Okay.
Okay जी. So with that, I end here. Okay जी, वाहिगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहिगुरु जी की फतेह।